in my elbow. But I try to come back for San Diego, but I come back for Seattle and I ride. I try to ride a little bit conservative, and now I am fourth place, and I want to win some race before the end.
Yeah, great. All right, good luck to you. Thanks for your time. Think you're gonna stay here the whole season then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Sean Beecham, report to the starting line. Number 1. Can we go in? Same as the last one.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Where's the lead? Yeah, Orty likes that one.
Welcome back. A traditional stop on the AMA's calendar of outdoor national championship motocross events is the Hangtown National in Sacramento, California. Promoted by the Dirt Diggers North Motorcycle Club, this year's event, the 22nd annual, was only stop number 2 on the championship trail. But for some, it was already do or die. Jeff Ward explains why to Moto World's Larry Myers.
Well, just like always, I got to win, and I need to win a lot to catch up in the points right now. And Ricky's hurt right now; he's not riding, so I'll be able to get past him. And Stanton's probably the main objective after that. So I think I'm not out of it by any means. So I just got to start winning, and I need to start here.
Heading into round 2 at Hangtown as a result of a freak accident in the season opener, Jeff Ward was 35 championship points down and in 12th place in the standings. Now watch the leaders as they round corner number 1. It was such a subtle crash, our camera almost missed it. Damon Bradshaw ran into, you guessed it, 2-time 250cc national champ Jeff Ward. Both riders got up and resumed racing, but the damage was apparently done. Meanwhile, out front, Suzuki's Larry Ward, number 17, his teammate Ron Tishner, number 6, and Honda's defending champ Jeff Stanton, number 1, were waging a private war that ranged from one end of the track to the other and all points in between. Through the first half of the race, those 3 riders commanded most of the attention of the huge crowd on hand. But gradually, the eyes of the crowd were drawn to the Kawasaki that was closing on the leaders. Jeff Ward, who had picked himself up off the ground on the opening lap, was running on pure adrenaline. He was flat getting the job done. Tishner faded first as Stanton got by to take second. When the pack came around again, Jeff Ward had also passed Tishner and was crowding Stanton for second place. For the rest of the race, the issue remained in doubt and was not settled until the checkered flag came out. The win went to Ward, with Stanton in second. The second moto was never in doubt as Ward took the whole shot and ran away from the field to capture the overall win for the day. Jeff Stanton recorded a pair of seconds for second overall, while Yamaha's Doug Dubach finished third. With 5 250cc National Championship events remaining, defending champ Jeff Stanton is on top of the leaderboard. Jeff Ward's win boosted him to third in the race for the title.
Day in and day out, the most exciting race action on the track will be found in the 125 class. I don't know whether it's the water they drink, the bikes they ride, or the average age of the riders. In any event, Hangtown was no exception to the rule. Here's Chris Lyson.
The first 125 moto was barely underway when the action heated up. Jean-Michel Bayle, the Team Honda French world champion, was out front, doing his best to leave the field, while behind him a dogfight was being waged. Number 80, Talon Volan on a Kawasaki, was all over number 4, Guy Cooper, aboard a Suzuki. The pair of riders would battle this way to the checkered flag. Concerned with each other, they were far too busy to challenge Bayle for the number 1 spot. Meanwhile, Jeff Matasevich, who had suffered a bad start, crashed while trying to work through traffic. The Kawasaki rider from La Habra Heights, California, was badly shaken up, but not injured. Bayle wins it, followed by Cooper and Talon Volan. The second moto was similar to the first, only the first 2 positions were swapped.
But was it impressive? All right, let me stay so I'm not creating a lot of shadows for the guys shooting videotape and stuff. Tell me about the first moto now.
Well, I almost pulled off the whole shot. I felt pretty fast down the front straightaway, and Jean-Michel Bayle went around the outside of me, and then it was just a race between me and him. Well, actually, Talon Volan was a surprise to all of us. We know he's fast on the track, but he was half the moto right on our tail, and giving me a lot of pressure. And I have to give him a lot of credit for his good effort, both motos. And but the first moto was hanging in there. And Jean-Michel was pulling me quite a bit towards the middle part of the moto, and then once he had a pretty good distance, it was just finishing with no mistakes. The track's so fast out there that you just don't want to make any major mistakes. If the 250 class, a lot of people threw it away, but it was getting rougher and rougher. So if there was another moto to be run now, it'd even be trickier because there was holes coming out where you wouldn't even expect it. It'd be a big chug hole or a rock sitting there.
Now, not wanting to certainly take anything away from your victory, but this Bayle guy, he's pretty tough, isn't he?
Yeah, he was riding pretty good. The second moto, I got the whole shot, and he was coming up on me, and I knew that he was riding good, and I was riding the laps as hard as I could, and whenever he caught me, I was kind of using where he would gain on me. I'd go back the next lap and say, okay, somewhere on this track he's making some ground on me, and I changed a few lines, and either I'd change a few lines or I'd hold him up in a line that would he couldn't get around me. And the last 3 or 4 laps, I really put the gas on. I knew there's only 3 laps to go, and pinned it, and started pulling away. He said that he ran over his foot, so that slacked him up a little bit, but I was happy for that.
Yeah, hey, it's not your foot. This racetrack, is there anything special to you about Hangtown? I mean, one of the oldest motocrosses in the United States?
It's a tough one for me. It's the first win here at Hangtown, and probably the reason why I won today is because George Holland wasn't running. He's normally the biggest threat here. He's won many years up here on this track, and it was just, it's a tough one for me. It's probably one of the tougher ones for me to ride on. It's so fast.
Get in a plug for your wrench, your sponsors.
Marshall Plum worked on that fast Suzuki, and he's a really nice guy who works overtime every day, and I like my Suzuki. It runs good. And other sponsors are Helmet, Scott Goggles.
National points.
Second in the points, 11 out behind Jean-Michel Bale, and I don't know what the lead is on third.
Is it going to be your national championship this year?
Well, I'd like it to be. I'm going to give it 100%.
I'll tell you what, you gave us 105 or 110% today, sir, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, now let's see what all we've got for him. Am I over on this stack now? Who's in charge of goodies? That stack?
I'd like to say one more.
Sure.
I'd like to say to all the fans, I could really hear you all cheering around the track, and that really keeps you going. So thanks to you all.
All right. First off, the trophy from the Dirt Diggers, and yeah, you guys might want to get a picture of that. We'll back out of the way. 22nd annual Hangtown 125 national champion. I'm guessing you'll find a spot for that, right?
You bet, right on the mantle.
And we've got some flowers for you here. And again, another shot. I mean, it isn't every racetrack gives them flowers, right, guys? Okay. And the champagne. Okay. Now, let me kind of assist you. I'll get the flowers out of the way. Have we got any of his pit crew?
I won't get you.
Sure. Do me a favor, one more time right here. Put your hands together and give Guy Cooper a round of applause. Impressive ride today. Once again, Guy will remind you that is not your basic low buck champagne. We need an AMA official over here to tech the champagne bottle. Never mind, there aren't enough old racers. Okay. He's done this before, so I'll move over here. Guy Cooper. Boy, who'd have thunk it? You got a longer cord? Thank you. You want to check levels, or you're just confident? Okay. Jeff. What? Oh, I'm sorry. More electronic stuff. Okay. The racetrack itself, the first moto. Did somebody drill you? Did it happen all by yourself in that first turn when you went down? Tell me about that.
Well, I went to the first turn, pretty clean. I just broke a little early because I had nobody on the inside of me, and somebody on the inside didn't quite shut off as soon as I did and grabbed my leg and put me down. Then got up real quick, though. I think I was mid-pack or maybe a little bit back there, and just made my mind up, and I'm going to the front, and that's where I went.
What goes through your mind? I mean, having ridden motorcycles before, I know that there's a point where I go, oh shit, I'm going down. I mean, now what goes through your mind there? Do you figure, oh, this is really going to hurt, or what?
Well, it was, and my leg was getting dragged back, and I was just thinking it was going to come off any second. Either it was going to come off or I was going down, so I had to go down. And once I got up, it goes through your mind. It's just like, not again. This is not the way I wanted to start the race, and it's going to be a lot of work, and it's just tough. And once I got going, though, I saw the leaders weren't that far ahead, and I just decided, that I'm going to try to catch them, and got a good pace going. I had to rest halfway through the race there. I was a little bit winded, and then I regrouped and caught back up. One time you came by here, right in front of this pit area, you took both hands off and wiggled your fingers. Was your hands getting tingly or what? Yeah, I was just hanging on real tight. I wanted to loosen them up, and I do that sometimes. And in Supercross, you do it a lot because you got a lot of jumps and you don't really see it, but you kind of loosen your hands up, and it just stops them from getting tight. And I just shook them out a little bit, and it helps a little bit. That's why I was regrouping and to get going again. We had you unofficially and approximately picking back up to win it. It was one of the most impressive performances I've ever seen, and that was just Moto 1. Now take me to Moto 2 for a second. I mean, the gate must have been just going your way in the first corner, too. Yeah, I like the way Moto 2 went, being out front. I didn't get as much dust and everything, but I'm getting, like last week, I got the whole shot at Pasadena, and I just been getting my starts down, and I got 2 whole shots today, and that's, 3 all year long, so I think I found the technique that I need with this bike this year, and my Kawasaki's running great. And unfortunately, I did get taken out the first moto, but I knew I could catch up. And this track was definitely a fast track, but I enjoy fast tracks.
Now, watching you in the second moto, you were so far out in front, so comfortably in control. Does your mind wander then? I mean, is it hard to keep on track when you're in control of the moto that way?
Yeah, I was going a lot faster at the beginning when Damon was back there, about 11 or 12 seconds. And then once he fell down, I had 22 or 23 seconds, and it's kind of hard to get motivated and just keep driving, you know, as 100% because you don't want to make a mistake and there's no reason to. So you back off a little bit and they catch up, but then, you know, you make more mistakes almost because you're thinking way too much. But with that kind of cushion, it's not really a big deal. And I did lose some time in the last 3 or 4 laps. I was just cruising around, but you know, I like to have that much lead at the end. I'll take that anytime over a dogfight.
Put in the plugs now. Who keeps that puppy? Get a picture of you then with all of that. And now somehow get those pictures. Jeff Ward, thank you, sir. For all of our winners at Hangtown, thank you, gentlemen. You are impressive, and we do love you. Did we miss anybody? Anybody we needed to plug? Do you remember to?
So we get like about 5 weekends off, but I don't mind.
Well, it was a pleasure, sir. Once again, congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Bruce.
All right, Jeff Ward. And that puts a wrap on Hangtown 1990.